You're listening to the Dave and Beck Show.
Beck and Dave.
You're making this difficult. I'm Dave.
And I'm Beck.
Well, I've got some news.
Oh, okay. I never, ever know what you're about to say because it's just always monotone. Like, that could either be something that's so exciting or you're about to tell me that you just lost your big toe. And I just truly never know. This is your face. It's every time. I've got news.
I'm just going to ignore what you said and move on.
Just bypass that. What's your news, Dave? I'm dying to know.
So, all I hear about Spotify Wrapped. Spotify Wrapped. Everyone's like, oh.
Everyone's posting it.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, I can't wait for my Spotify Wrapped thing, right?
I listened to the Jonas Brothers for 2,300 hours.
Yeah, or whatever.
Yeah.
Jonas Brothers, that's not probably a good thing. But, okay, so Spotify Wrapped. So I'm like, well, I want to be involved. I want my Spotify Wrapped because I feel like sometimes I'm not hip anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like I've lost the hip.
No, you?
I do. Oh. I know, it's
You're nothing but swaggy.
I know, but I want to be involved.
Yeah.
I want to be part of this.
Sure.
So I jumped on Spotify when everyone's looking at Spotify Wrapped, and I was looking for my Spotify Wrapped. I couldn't find it.
Oh.
So I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Mm-hmm. So I went to Spotify. They said, you need to update your app. So I go to the app thing, and I'm trying to update it. Well, let me update it. I must be fully updated. Oh. So I go back on the app. I spent 30 minutes looking for my Spotify Wrapped. Okay.
Why didn't you just ask a young person?
Moving on. Eventually, I gave up. I said, you know what? Spotify Wrapped's for losers anyway. I'm not dealing with this.
I don't want to know what I listened to.
But the next day,
yes,
I got an email from Spotify, and it said something like,
"Dear American,
Spotify Wrapped," or whatever.
Yeah.
And I jumped to it. I was like, this is awesome. Here it is.
What have I been waiting for?
And what I got was this picture, and it said, the sounds of 2022 all wrapped up. Bad news. This year, you didn't listen to enough to get your own Wrapped. Yeah.
You spent 30 minutes of your day to try to figure out what your Wrapped was. And you don't even have one.
This is my...
What, do you never listen to music on Spotify?
I do.
Did the picture say bad news?
And I was even guessing what my Spotify Wrapped was going to have. And the picture said bad news. I will post it on the Twitter.
You don't have to say the. What did you think was going to be on your Wrapped?
9 Inch Nails.
I don't know what that is.
It's one of the best groups of all times.
I've never heard of them, so they can't be that good.
Oh, no. Top-notch group.
I thought you were going to say something like Phil Collins.
No. I mean, some of his songs are bad. No, 9 Inch Nails.
Oh.
Anyway.
That sounds nasty.
So, yeah, it says, this year you didn't have enough to get your own Wrapped. So I just realized at this moment that I live a sad life. I am a sad man.
You just realized that in this moment?
That's what did it. I thought things were going well for me until this.
Yeah, you've been in communication with a prince, and now your life was looking up, but now Spotify brought you right back down.
Prince hasn't responded to any of my emails. I begin to think I was scammed.
I'm sorry you've had such a rough morning with that, but it was nice of Spotify to send you that personalized email saying better luck next year.
That's just unbelievable. I mean, really, I really was upset about this. This was something I was really looking forward to because everyone else was looking forward to it.
Right.
I thought,
what are you going to talk about around the water cooler now?
I'm going to be part of the in crowd. And then Spotify just shot this at me. Bad news.
No, you're part of a different kind of crowd.
What's that?
Senior citizens.
Oh.
Better get out your bingo boards.
I'm already down, and you're kicking me now. Okay, I'm on the floor. I'm crying and weeping, and you're just kicking me.
I'm really sorry. I hope next year you get a really good Spotify Wrapped. You know what's annoying is, are we done talking about you? Can we go to me now?
Yes.
Okay. So last night when I'm sleeping in Dream Wonderland, and I'm just happy little Becca floating around a Meadow or whatever, you know? And I'm thinking that everything in my life is going to stay the same when I wake up.
Right.
I open my eyes. I reach for my phone.
Yes.
Like every American. My screen looks completely different.
Why?
Everything about my phone looks different because their software update ran without my permission and it completely changed the look of everything on my freaking phone.
Oh my God. That's
Why
annoying.
did they do that?
I don't know.
Why didn't they say, Beck, why a pop-up should have come up and been like, we're changing everything.
Yeah.
The world that you know is going to be different. Choose yes or no. Do you want that or not? No, they didn't ask me. And maybe
Yeah.
I'm not good with change.
Well, clearly you're not.
I like to think I can roll with the punches, but I can't.
I mean, that's true though.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they did the same thing to my watch.
I don't know who,
I don't know how to navigate
who
this.
decides these changes is what I want to know.
Who's coming
Is
up
it
with these
a troll?
updates?
Is it a troll?
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's just thinking this is going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
We're going to get rid of the start button. We're going to let these people turn their computer on or their phone
Yeah.
or whatever, and we're going to get rid of the main button that
Yeah.
everyone goes to, and we're going to see what happens.
Yeah, like
Mass
an experiment.
hysteria.
Truly. And you know what's also annoying is they changed the whole look of it all, but there's not like a how-to guide. It's not like a, hey,
No,
your
yeah,
phone's
right.
going to look kind of different. Now this is going to be over here. This is going to be over here. No,
Right.
it's like figure it out for yourself, losers.
Right. And what they're doing is they're just changing the aesthetics of it.
Yeah.
They probably didn't make the phone any better.
No.
They're just like, oh, we don't want people to get bored of their phone, which
Yeah.
is never going to happen.
Right.
So we're going to just change everything and we're going to make it a puzzle.
Yeah.
We all like puzzles.
Who doesn't want to puzzle the first
Right.
thing when you wake up?
When Apple, who updated your phone,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you have an iPhone.
Yeah.
They-
The best phone out there.
Yeah, right.
I still love Apple.
Because they changed it. So that makes them the best.
They're always trying to make it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they did that, they probably put a post out and said, whoever figures out how to use their phone first, send us the secret message at the end.
You know what? If I had a phone company, I'd do that just to mess with people.
On the first update that they whack things out, be
Yeah.
like, when you've actually hit all the right buttons, there'll be a code. You email us, we will send you a free phone. You're the first one to figure out the puzzle. By the way, there's no start button. And you're never going to find my PC again.
And honestly, with the start button thing, okay, you've never had an iPhone, right?
No.
So they used to have that home button, which I don't know what your ancient phones look like, but now they did get rid of that. So it was a swipey thing. And at first I was like, oh my God, there's no home button.
Yeah.
I love that now.
Yeah, it just
I
changed
could,
everything.
I can't imagine going back and having to push a button again.
Oh my God, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, we're trying to get rid of using all our muscles. So thank God we saved that one.
It's like when you read books growing up.
You don't want anyone
For-
turning the pages?
No.
You don't want to turn the page?
If I had infinite amount of money,
ridiculous.
I would just hire someone to hold my book.
Right.
Flip it.
Who needs to use
Flip it.
muscles?
No, but it's like I used to love just holding a book, you know? But now that I've had a Kindle and I have to lay in bed and I'm like holding a book, I'm
Yeah.
like, God, my arms are tired and my hands. Like,
Yeah.
This is
This
not
is
cool.
ridiculous.
I know.
When are they going to make glasses that I can put on my face and turn the pages with my mind?
Actually, I think they have something like that. No, they don't. Maybe I saw that in a movie.
Well, if they do.
But they
I'm
do
not
have these
surprised.
special Facebook glasses. Have you seen this? Where when you're wearing them, and if you want it to take a picture, you just say, hey, glasses, take a picture, and it uploads it right to your Facebook. Have you seen these?
I have not.
Oh, I keep seeing videos about it on my TikTok.
I hope that the voice works for only you because you can really mess with someone wearing those.
Yeah, imagine if you went to like a wedding and you keep hearing like, take a picture, take a picture.
Yeah,
Your
it's just
glasses are just constantly like,
I hope you're looking at the right thing. I hate to be a guy wearing those glasses and your girlfriend's one said, you know, you're like, oh, my girlfriend doesn't notice that I'm looking at another girl, right?
Yeah.
And then you're wearing those glasses and your girlfriend says, hey, Facebook, take a picture. And it pops up with Facebook and he's staring at some other girl. Boom, caught. You can't even play it off anymore. She was just wearing something. I don't know why she's wearing that.
I was thinking, that's ugly.
Yeah. I was thinking, I wouldn't go out in public wearing that. Look at her cleavage. Ridiculous.
Ew. Never say the word cleavage again.
What am I supposed to say?
Ah.
Boobs?
That's better, honestly. Cleavage makes you sound like this like old man.
But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's going to get people in trouble.
that's true. But I would still like to try a pair of these glasses.
Why? Because you can't click a button on your phone that says, I'm going to take a picture of myself?
No, my thumb is tired. My
Yeah, I
home,
know.
my
All
home
that
button's been gone.
stuff.
Now I gotta.
How do you
I want
walk?
to.
I mean,
Proudly.
one day they're going to create like a chair and you can just
This is
have it
not Wally.
scoot you everywhere.
You are so dramatic. Anyway, you know what we did that was so fun? You and I, and well, a lot of people were there, but we went to a murder mystery.
Yes, we did.
And what did you think about it? First of all, I gotta say, I'm proud of you. You left the house and you went to an event. That's unlike you.
It happens every so
Once
often.
in a blue moon is what they say.
Yes, every so often I do leave the house
Yeah.
and I go do something.
Once every 8 years.
And we went to a murder mystery and it was a very good time. The actors,
Why are you telling the
top
story like
notch.
this?
The end.
We went, we saw, we went home. Good time had by Dave. Tell everyone, did you solve the murder? Did you solve it correctly?
Okay, so there's in this one,
Yes.
2 people died,
Yes.
which I'd never been to one of these. So I didn't know what to expect. I kept looking at you. Are there 2 murderers in this one? I even kept saying that.
And I confidently was like, no,
that doesn't happen. And,
I didn't know.
and that was even before like the first person died.
Why do you listen to me?
Or the second person died, because I was like thinking to myself, there could be 2 people involved in this. I'm trying to figure out like how this would work, and there were 2 murderers.
There were.
but I only guessed one of them right, and the other one I was not even thinking was the
Was
the
the
murderer,
actual killer.
because I tricked myself a little bit. So just to give a
Yeah.
run through.
Yeah.
There are like 5 or 6, 7 characters in this, besides the detective.
There were 8.
Oh, there's 8, including the detective, or besides the detective?
Okay, including the
Okay, so there's 7 suspects. The detective is not supposed to be a suspect,
Right.
and they all have like different backgrounds. Like one was a snowboarder.
Yeah.
One was an Olympic athlete, skier, I think.
A skier, yeah.
Who got the bronze.
Yeah.
And there was a lady who wrote novels.
Yes. Romance
And-
novels.
And there was a woman who had a perfume that was failing. Everyone like had something and they needed
Yeah.
money, basically, except for I think the guy who played the snowboarder. He really, I don't think that said that he lost money. He was just kind of a wild person or
Yeah.
whatever. But all the rest of them pretty much were all hurting in some way. There was a gambler.
Yeah.
And there was this guy who used to be in old Western movies. And then there was the
He was
husband.
like a washed up actor.
Yeah. And then there was like the husband. And anyway, so
Yeah, they're all very eccentric, interesting characters, and everyone could gain from this
yes.
murder.
And I decided that I wasn't just going to solve the murder. Okay. I wanted to be a character of my own in a way. So not like a character,
Yeah.
but like, I just wanted to be involved.
Yeah, and
So-
you were.
So we weren't supposed to get up out of the table, really. So I just kind of sat at the table the whole time. At least that was my understanding.
Yeah.
They come to you.
Right.
And when the woman who was the bronze medalist came up, I said to her, "You're that Olympic skier," and she said, "Yes, I am."
Yeah.
I said, "Bronze."
You threw her off.
I did. She said, "What?" I said, "Bronze."
The whole table's just like laughing, watching you. The very first time when I told you about a murder mystery and you were like joking about everything that you'd ask,
Right.
I never actually thought you would.
Oh yeah.
Last night, I was, like, oh my God.
Everything you hoped for. I know. I said to you, I would mess with them, didn't I?
You truly did.
I did, but they did such a good job.
Oh
They
my
didn't
gosh,
break
yeah.
character.
The company was so good.
I mean, the woman who she wrote romantic novels.
Yeah.
She came over, and I said to her,
You guys had a special moment.
We did. I said to her, "I am your biggest fan," and she said, "Are you my darling?" or whatever. And she shook my hand, and we started talking
You guys
about
were
her.
holding hands. She was holding.
She was
your
holding my
hand.
hand. She had her arm around my shoulder pretty much for the most part, not like fully, but like.
Yeah.
And then she was stroking my hair. throughout the whole thing. And she did such a good job. She invited me to be part of one of her books. Unfortunately, it was Studs on Studs.
She said, I'm picking up a vibe.
I'm not gay, but yeah, she's not picking up a vibe. She was playing me back too. Every time I was trying to mess with her, she was messing with me.
I know, you didn't even know what to say.
She was top notch.
She was good.
Yeah, and like, I was telling her, like, I told her that Miami Playboys changed my life, which was one of her books. It was a special moment.
You had a special moment, I felt like, with every single character. You got one of their autographs.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, the actor.
Mm-hmm.
He came by. He was in some old Western movies and lately he just hasn't had much of a career.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, I love that movie or whatever.
Right.
And I started acting like, parts of his movie or whatever. And then I said, can I have your autograph? He gave me his autograph. It was awesome. But then later, someone else, one of the other characters came over to him, one of the actual characters, and said, can I have your autograph? And he gave him the autograph. And I was like, what the hell?
I know, you had that special
I didn't realize
moment.
you were just giving these autographs out like they're candy. Like, this autograph's worthless.
The only down part for me was that same guy when I was looking up. He spit so many times when he was talking and kept landing on my face. And I looked over at my sister and I was like, oh my God, he just spit on me like 6 times.
That was the cowboy guy?
Yes.
Oh, geez.
And then I just kept thinking, like, I really hope you're not sick.
The gambler guy came over.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, you owe me money.
That was straight up
you
the gate.
lost. He was like, no, man, I went to this and I won this or whatever. I said, I was there. I beat you. No, he said, no, it says right here, I'm the champion. I was like, oh, okay. Must have been another time I beat you.
My favorite is, I never knew what you were going to say. And the actors, as soon as you'd say it, I mean, they all played it off really well. There were a couple that were just like, for a second, like a millisecond, they were thrown off by you because you weren't asking a lot of questions about the murder that happened. You were just like, I'm your biggest fan.
Yeah.
You only won bronze. And then you apologized to her later and you're like, I'm sorry.
I did. I stopped her. She was walking by. I said, buddy, I'm sorry. I didn't mean anything about that. I just want you to know that it's good that you won that. You really tried hard.
Yeah. My favorite, too, is I asked a question about 2 of the characters. I didn't realize Bunny, that character, was 17, and there was another guy. And I said, are you guys friends? And she said, yeah. And then I said, lovers? And everyone made a big deal about it. They're like,
oh, right.
And then everyone was making fun of me like, oh, my God, Becca. And it turns out
they were.
And
that was actually the story. I thought maybe they changed it a little on the fly, but I think that was actually the whole
I think so, too.
Point.
God, it would have been cool if I would have suggested something, and then they were like, let's run with it.
And they did. And they ran with it. That would have been. I mean, they could do that probably. I could see them doing that. Yeah. They were very good at what they did.
When I retell this story, I'm going to tell people that that's what happened. I'm going to say, I threw out an idea so freaking brilliant.
They just changed.
They were like,
everything on the fly.
We have to just absolutely do what that girl said.
Yeah. So I guess. I mean, that's just bizarre that you had that picked out. And then I thought you were being reprimanded at one point by the receptionist.
Right. Because she was like,
how could you say something like that?
That's disgusting. She's underage. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. And I thought maybe they were just trying to tell you to cool it off with that.
Yeah.
But they weren't. They were just playing the part.
They made me feel terrible.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, wait, that is what happened.
Right. It's legit.
See, I am a detective.
And Paula, she was the receptionist.
Yeah.
Or not receptionist, but she kind of like ran the hotel.
Right.
So to speak, the hotel, quote unquote.
She was like the manager, kind of.
She was good too because like she'd come over and I was like, I need this or I need that.
Yeah.
And then she said something
you asked for like a loofah?
Yeah. Well, Jen, at our table, she was like, yeah, he needs a loofah. And I said, yeah, I do need one of those.
She was like, how dirty are you?
Yeah. And then I said, I need some extra hand towels. And she said, and she goes, okay, I'll get you a whole bunch of hand towels. I said, how dirty do you think I am?
That's what it was.
Yeah. I was like, I just need one hand towel. And then she quits. And I'm like, you didn't get me my hand towel yet.
I just truly love that our table, I feel like some of them were taking it way more seriously, asking the
They were
questions.
trying to figure it out. Yeah.
And you and I just felt like we're just like doing our own thing.
We were. It was just whatever happened.
Yeah. And Leah on the drive home, my sister, she was like, because I said, oh, when I came back to the table, one of the actors was talking to you and you just kept pointing at me instead. And she goes, yeah, I didn't want to be in the narrative. I just wanted to sit and watch. She goes, anytime an actor was coming over, I would not make eye contact because she was too nervous.
Yeah.
And she's like, meanwhile, you and David were just like, nah.
Yeah, we were going at it. And then, like, at the end, they had them all up and they were kind of interrogating them. And then Skyler, there was a comment made about Skyler, who was the guy who's a snowboarder, who's supposed to be a big athlete, big, hot, top-notch snowboarder.
Who made out with the young girl.
Yeah. And they said something about him having good looks, intelligence,
Oh, I forgot.
and good looks, intelligence, and athleticism, or whatever. And then one of the other actors said, "Well, you're two of the three." And I said, "What? He's not a good athlete." I said he's not a good athlete, but the whole premise of him is that's the one thing that he is. I don't know if any of the actors laughed or not.
Oh my God, I was dying. This is why we didn't solve the mystery.
We need to do these like every week and just mess around.
At the very end, I was like, well, shoot, I don't know who it is.
Maybe they'll invite us to be part of the...
We would be great at that.
We would be.
I truly
As long as we could hold our laughter in.
Yeah,
That's the only
I
thing.
could. I'm a profesh.
Yeah, I guess I could if I tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just played serious. It was a great time.
I guessed one of them right. I just want the record to show
Oh, you did get one right?
that out of the two, I did guess one right. Did you not?
Was it
guess
Paula? Mm-hmm. Okay, I got Paula, but I didn't get the cowboy.
Oh, yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
either. So we were samesies?
We were samesies. We were tied.
That's
So you thought you
disappointing.
beat me, and I'm not even seasoned. You've done this, what, 3 times?
No, this was only my second time, David.
Oh.
And are you lying? Did you really write down the one?
Yeah.
Dang it.
And who'd you put for the first one? Who'd you think the first killer was?
I thought that was the mother.
Oh, yeah.
Who did you list?
I originally thought that was the murder, but then I changed it. I went to Bunny.
Oh.
See, and I knew I wasn't going to win because when they didn't bring Bunny back out when they were doing who killed it. So I thought, shoot.
That was a dumb choice on your part to pick the person that was already murdered.
Well,
As a murderer.
first off, I thought that was the whole trick, was that Bunny found out that she just inherited this huge hotel. And so she killed her dad to get the money. Boom.
Yeah,
And
terrible.
nobody
theory.
would have thought about Bunny because she's already out of the scene. So they would have tricked everyone. But they didn't.
By the way, that actress did a great job of acting poisoned and then dying.
Did she?
Yeah, she
I
was
couldn't
looked
really
like she
see
was
a lot.
seasoned on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did great. Then they carried her out, and she was just like,
Yeah, no, it was they did a great all that they all did a great job
Yeah.
of acting their parts. They
Yeah.
really did. The one that did, in my opinion, the best was the romantic novelist, because no matter what I threw at her, she did not break character. I mean, she was top pro.
yeah.
I mean,
Didn't she come back to you twice?
I mean, none of them broke character, but
Right.
I really threw some stuff at her. Yeah,
Yeah.
she came back multiple times.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
I
because
was.
you guys had such a cosmic connection.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, at one point, she asked my wife if she shares. And my wife said yes. And I said, "You share? I didn't know all this time."
Oh my God. That whole thing was so funny. I'll never forget her stroking your hair.
Oh my
I'll
God.
never get that out of my mind.
I know. I won't either.
Studs on studs.
It was funny. It was funny. It was a good time.
You know what would have been great is if you would have stood up and you were like, I killed him. Just to see
It was me.
what anyone would have done.
I was going to run away with Buddy. But no, it was really good. It
Yeah.
was good. I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
But obviously, if any of y'all are in Lexington, to
All right. Well,
check
they do it
out.
all throughout the state.
Oh yeah, I think they have
Murder
other
and
states
Merriment.
maybe too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch that you can choose from. But this one, they truly did such an amazing job. And honestly, I might try out. That might be kind of fun.
What to do it?
Yeah,
Do they
why
just
not?
let anyone do it, or do they have
First
like
of
a
all,
tight knit
I'm a
group?
profesh. Just let anyone do it. I used to be an actress.
Could you really play that spot on the spot though? Like
Improv?
really play that character? And if someone like me started throwing stuff at you, you wouldn't just start breaking down laughing. Could you really do that? Because
Yeah.
I'll be honest, if you get the job, your first night, I will be there, and I'm going to get you fired. They're going to kill you off.
Yeah.
You're not even the one who's supposed to die. You're not even the one who's supposed to die. They're just going to kill you off. You're like, this is not working. Kill her off.
It's only because I know you. That would make it harder. If it was people that I don't know.
You would avoid me the whole time. You
yeah,
would never come to my table.
I would never come to your table.
Yeah. And I'm like, we
Especially
fuck
because you'd be
everyone.
like, hey, Beck, and I'd be like, hey. And then I'd be like, damn it. You know what? I saw a question the other day that's been haunting me. And I just saw it online. And the question is this, and I want you to think about it for 0.2 seconds and then just answer.
All right.
Does a straw have one hole or two?
2.
Oh. Oh, you really do think that?
The straw
Yeah.
has 2 holes.
Don't you just think it's one long hole?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking of it like a piece of plastic, right?
Okay.
And it would have been solid.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to poke a hole on both ends to make it hollow in the middle. Otherwise it just has one. If
No.
you just do one hole, it wouldn't.
No, David, it's just one hole down the whole thing. It's just one long hole.
You might be right.
Yeah. It's not 2 holes.
That's mind blowing.
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm so glad that was brought up.
Well, then I was thinking, and I probably took like 10 minutes, and I was like, are there 1 hole or 2 in the straw? But you, in your heart of hearts, thinks that there's 2.
Yeah, there's 2 holes
No, it's 1.
because it's solid around both ends.
Yeah?
So I think there's 2 holes.
There's not 2 holes. There's literally 1 hole.
So, okay.
You know what else? Is a hot dog a sandwich, technically?
I don't know what makes a sandwich technically.
It's bread and a piece of meat.
I guess, yeah, it's a sandwich.
You would think that a hot dog is a sandwich?
I guess.
What the hell's wrong with you?
That's the definition of a sandwich.
No.
Look,
It's not a sandwich.
I never went up to Webster and said, "What's a sandwich?" If Webster said sandwich is whatever's between 2 pieces of bread,
No, here's why a hot dog is not a sandwich. It's because the bun is connected. A sandwich has a top and a bottom.
But does the hot dog become a sandwich if you put it between 2 slices of bread?
Ah, yeah.
Okay. Well, last episode, you did this whole five thing rating.
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
Okay. So I thought, let me put one together for Becca.
Okay.
All right. So you have to list these things, right, from a
Yes.
scale from 1 to 5, but you can't double up
Right.
and you can't change.
Right. So I need to be very
So
selective.
Follow the rules.
Okay, I'm going to.
All right.
Oh my gosh, I'm nervous.
So, okay.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. So from 1 to 5, right? Don't
Yeah.
repeat.
Oh,
Okay.
I can't.
1's the best. 5's the worst.
Right.
Like you would. 1 is.
Is all
I
these
would
going to
love.
be bad?
No, that would make it fun.
Okay.
One of these is if you say 1, then you're saying that is something I would do every day if I could. Like
Right.
that is just the greatest moment of my life.
Yes.
And a 5 would represent that is like the most disgusting thing. Okay. So this is not.
What the hell is going to be on this
So
list?
3 means that's normal life.
Okay.
Okay. So 2 is getting closer to absolutely love this thing. Obviously, it's like incredibly the best thing. So 2 is
Yeah.
incredible, and 3 and 4 would be like, minorly disgusted, right?
Yes. Whoops.
Okay. So you had to do from 1 to 5, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I am nervous.
The first one I'll go with is getting your Starbucks drink wrong when you go to Starbucks. What would you rate that?
I feel like you're going to have much worse things. So I'm going to say a 3.
A 3. Okay.
Yeah. Because I can live with it.
Okay. Christmas shopping.
2.
You would give Christmas shopping a 2.
Yeah. I love Christmas shopping. Holly jolly season. Oh, God.
Having scalding hot water drench your hand.
How messed up would I be if I was like a 1? That's 5. That's terrible.
That's a 5.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I only have a 1 and a 4 left.
A 1 and a 4 left.
Yeah. I don't like how you're smiling right now.
Stepping in dog.
Hell, dude.
Stepping in dog shit.
4. I would be worried about myself if I thought that was a 1.
I failed at this.
What's number 1?
Doing the podcast with me.
Ah, that is number 1.
Oh, I failed. I was trying to save a 5.
But you had stepping in dog shit?
I didn't know what to do because I knew if I said doing this podcast with me, you're going to do a 1. So I need
Yeah.
you to get rid of your 1 and the 2 first. But I didn't do enough good things.
Yeah, you're
That's
right.
my problem. I need to do more good things besides that.
Yeah, overall in life.
See?
Yeah, that would be a
I
good
failed.
philosophy for you.
That's a fail for Dave.
Yeah. How many other things do you fail at?
everything.
just wanna
Spotify.
You want to list them off?
My kids don't love me. We have 5 listeners.
You have many talents, David.
I do.
I mean, I
do.
could probably fill up one handful of all your talents.
Wow. Well, let
sorry.
me tell you a few things you don't know about me.
Oh,
All right? Yeah.
okay.
These are my little hobbies in the past.
Oh,
Okay.
you had hobbies?
Yes.
Do you still have hobbies?
I mean, this is kind of a hobby at the moment.
Oh, until it's our real life. Until it's our career.
Just a warning.
Mm-hmm.
All my hobbies fail
Shit.
at some point. One time I made an aquaponics machine.
What the heck is an aquaponics machine? Did you make that word up?
No, it is well, it's not like a machine, but like an aquaponics system. Okay.
Okay. Is that like Aquaman?
No.
Oh.
No, this is where you
Lame.
take a fish. You take fish.
What
put
is your
'em-
obsession with fish?
You put them in a tank.
Okay.
But you can't just use a normal fish tank. Like I
Oh.
use these like this giant container. Okay.
Okay.
And you put fish at the bottom.
Okay.
And then at the top, you put stone down, like a gravelish kind of stone, and you plant vegetables.
What?
And what happens is you create a water system that runs from the top to the bottom and recirculates the water. So the fish, when they use the restroom, I guess, in the water, it pulls it up to the plants. The plants use
just-
that as nutrients. And then
the fish piss
Or
is
poop.
growing your carrots.
right. And then it's like manure, so to speak, right? And it pulls it up. It fills up with water and then comes down with water. It keeps filling up with water and coming down with water. It constantly does that. And what happens is the plants filter the water for the fish, and the fish neutralize the water for the plants. So it's like an ecosystem basically, and it worked.
How did you get into this? And did you invite people over for a dinner party and you're like, do you like those tomatoes? My fish poo grew those.
You'll never have a better tomato than a fish poo tomato. No, I didn't do tomatoes.
Did you put them in your mouth? You ate the vegetables
Yeah, you eat the vegetables.
that the fish
What do you think?
peed and pooped in?
What do you think vegetables are grown with?
Just seeds and water.
Oh, right. Yeah, magic.
Yeah. And a little bit of dirt, but I'm fine with dirt.
Yeah, dirt.
Yeah.
What do you think is mixed in with the dirt?
Just dirt. Worms.
Yeah. I mean, there's like they do some like plant fertilizer, but you
Yeah.
can't give too much of that, right? That's just to help it grow.
How many fish were swimming around in your tank just pissing on everything?
I think so. I did goldfish. I wanted to do trout, but
Oh.
I couldn't find a way to get the trout seedlings, whatever they're called, the
trouts-
little ones.
Large fish?
Trouts are pretty decent size.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the idea
How big was your tank?
the idea was I would have trout at the bottom, and then I would take the trout up when they got big enough and eat fish. So I'd have fish and I'd have plants, and then I would just repopulate the fish.
Whoa, you had a whole
That's the
thing
idea.
planned
That's
out.
actually the idea. There's one in
Oh.
Lexington that does this, but they use
one in
Tapia.
Lexington that does this. What, this like a
There's an
person or
there's like an aquaponics non-for-profit that I think in Lexington.
Oh.
But I was doing this before that.
Yeah.
When this came about, I was like, oh, that's neat. They're doing a bigger
So
one.
how did this idea come about? You just like saw it somewhere and you were like, yeah, I could do that.
I
You were
honestly-
like, I love vegetables. I love when fish pee on my vegetables. And then I like to eat the fish.
I honestly don't remember today.
Does the
what
tank
sparked
look
it.
dirty?
No, the tank is clean. Like I said, it filters the water.
Yeah.
The only thing you have to be careful of is you have to make sure that you don't put too many plants or too little fish or too many fish. You have to have that perfect
Perfect
level.
ratio.
Because if you have too much in one end, it throws off either the water or throws off the nutrients the fish or the plants get. Because if you have too many fish and not enough plants, you can't filter the water. So the water will get dirty and the fish can die. But if you have too many plants and not enough fish, then there's not enough of the fish nutrients helping the plants grow. So they all die. So you have to find that perfect ratio.
How many fish did you kill in this
I know
process?
everyone's amazed. Unless you knew what an aquaponics
We
was.
truly are.
And I made it by myself.
So you actually did build that.
I built it.
That part is impressive, but I do have some follow-up questions. How many fish did you kill? What is your count?
So I
of
used
dead
goldfish. And they all did die in the end.
Okay.
But it wasn't because
Did you grow peas?
it wasn't because of my failure at doing the aquaponics. What the reason was because of winter.
Oh.
I didn't have that factored in. So after the summer was over and fall was over, when winter came, I had this.
All the seasons.
You don't have this inside the house. Like I didn't have. This wasn't inside the house. This was outside in the greenhouse.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So
You
when
had a
winter came,
greenhouse.
well, not like it was like one of those like backyard greenhouses.
Oh,
You can buy
yeah,
that.
I've
It's like
seen those
made
everywhere.
of plastic. It's not like a
Oh,
real
okay.
heavy greenhouse, like a house kind of
Yeah.
thing. But anyway, so
So
when
you
winter
had that.
came, I had a space heater. I put in there and I ran it throughout the winter, but it was costing me so much money. At some point, I just had to say, no, it's not going to work.
Oh, so then your fish died.
So I forget what we did with
Did
the
you eat 'em?
fish. No, I didn't eat the goldfish. I did not.
The snack that smiles back.
I was like, what do I do with these? Well, I've got some cucumbers.
I wish you remembered what you grew with them.
Oh,
I
no,
want to
I
know,
grew
did
cucumbers.
you grow peas? Because then you could have been like, here's a double meaning.
Well, you can't. I don't do peas grow in plants or do
I don't know,
grow underground? I don't know which way it works. I guess they grow in plants.
No,
I didn't do peas.
Yeah.
I didn't do peas. I did cucumbers. I did broccoli. I did broccoli.
Interesting.
And I did one other one. I can't remember. The cucumbers take over the greenhouse. Like
really?
they're like almost like creatures. They just
I
kind of
love
go
a fresh
everywhere.
cucumber. That crunch.
And then the broccoli, you have to be careful because if you wait too long, if it flowers, you can't eat it.
Oh.
So as soon as broccoli starts to flower, you can't eat it. So you have to like do that perfect
Who
moment.
knew you had so much knowledge about this stuff?
I'm telling
You're
you,
like Farmer Dave.
I was like Farmer Dave at that moment.
Wow.
It was one summer.
E-I-E-I-O. Oh, it was just one summer of your life, and then you were like, I'm good.
And you don't make your money back, by the way. The idea was this was
That
gonna-
was a question of
The
mine.
idea was like, oh, we're spending so much on fish or we're spending so much on vegetables. What if I just made it myself? And just so you know, I lost money in this. And that's not even counting with the space heater. Like if you take the space heater out, because you know that thing's running up the bill. Yeah.
That is so funny.
So another hobby.
Okay.
Okay. This one.
Do
This
all of
one's-
your hobbies cost you a lot of money?
Yes. I used to make beer. And,
What?
And I'm not actually much of a drinker, right?
No, you're not.
So, yeah. So what you have to do with the beer is, you have to get because of the because of the letter M. I can't remember the.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, it's like a sugary kind of
Oh,
thing, and
okay.
like a malt. Okay, and then what you have is you have the malt, and then the hops, and what you're doing is you're brewing it on a pot, and then you have
Oh.
to pour it into this container. And I put on there this is years ago, so I don't
Oh.
remember the verbiage very well. But
Sure.
I put on there a lock. It's like an air lock. Okay. And what it does is it allows air to escape if it needs to, but it's not letting any air in.
Okay.
And then when you add the yeast eats up all the sugars and creates the alcohol.
Interesting.
Okay. So the only thing is you have to keep this container in a very temperature neutral area at a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what kind of beer you're making. And I, of course, didn't have some huge refrigerator. And you don't want light. You got to keep it away from light.
Oh, it has to
So
grow in the dark.
If you live I lived in a ranch at the time. And if
Okay.
you live in a ranch and
Cowboy
you don't
Dave.
have a big, not a ranch, a ranch house, a single level house. Not out there.
I'm just picturing you with you're growing your vegetables, you're living on a ranch.
No, like
Okay.
a ranch home. I was like, what does she mean, Cowboy Dave? Not a cowboy. Anyway, so yeah. So I'm in a
Sorry.
ranch home, a single level home.
okay.
Okay. So you live in a single level home, no basement. Okay.
Yeah.
And you need to keep it in a dark place.
Mhm.
Where would you store this? If you
Your heart.
What? Did you say in your heart? You need a place with no windows. Where would you store it? Pop quiz, hot shot.
I don't know, a closet.
Yeah, a closet.
Okay.
So I put it in the coat closet.
Okay.
Yeah. So the coat closet,
Mm-hmm.
got to, try to keep the house cool.
Yeah.
What happens is if the yeast overpopulate and start going nuts,
Oh no.
the air pressure starts to take over.
Oh no.
And the pressure inside of that canister, and I'm talking this thing holds like a lot of gallons.
Okay.
It's a very large glass
How many
container.
gallons would you say it holds?
I'm going to say maybe 50 to 80.
Whoa,
I'm not
that is
sure.
a lot of gallons.
If I would have said 10, would you have said that? If I was at 5, would you have said, whoa, that's a lot of gallons? Was that a setup?
How did you hold this? That had to have been
It was heavy. It was heavy. I carried it. But yeah,
Oh, no big deal.
I mean, I was super strong. Anyway, so you don't fill it to the rim, though. You don't fill it to the rim. It was about halfway full of beer or whatever, or future beer. So anyway, I had it in the coat closet. Well, the airlock popped,
Oh, shit.
spread beer everywhere in my coat closet. Did I take the coats out? No, I did not take the coats out.
David,
Okay.
that closet had to smell bad.
So maybe some people have heard, bite a bit once, twice shy or whatever, right? Like you learn from your lessons.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just, I put the cap back on and I got some beer. Okay. I decided to make another batch.
Oh, okay.
A couple weeks later, I said, I'm not going to have this happen to me again. This fooled me once. Shame on you. Okay. So I had the thing in there and I'm like,
In the same coat closet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I cleaned up. Those coats, some of them got thrown out. Okay.
Did you put the coats back in the coat closet that didn't get
No,
wrecked?
took the coats out.
Oh, smart. Oh, so you were learning from your
I learned.
mistakes.
Moved them somewhere else. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, full one shame on you, right? Kind of thing. So I'm like, okay, it's day 3. It's been fermenting. I better go and check on the airlock and just make sure everything looked good. I'm like, maybe I'll let out a little air.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
I'll just let out a little. This is a true story. I'll just let out a little air just so it doesn't pop. Like last time. I don't want it to pop and get beer everywhere.
Yeah, you learned. Right. Is there a video of this?
No, there's no video.
Okay.
Just this story that should die with me, but I'm letting everyone know. So I go up to the airlock.
Yeah.
And I'm bending the airlock just a little bit to try to squeeze some air out.
Yeah.
And then I was just going to close it.
Sure.
And as I'm doing it, and I'm hearing like a little bit of air come through. So I'm like, it's not fast enough. So I pull it just a little bit more. And at that moment, the entire thing just swooshed up. All the beer swooshed up, drenched me, shot me right in the face, all over the place. I was drenched in beer. I swear to you, this is a true story. And the only thing I can think of is, David, why are you so fucking stupid? I was like, I'm such a fucking idiot.
I like that you were just thinking, like, let me just go let out a little bit of air.
Yeah.
What possessed you to do that?
Because last time it popped on its own. And I'm like, I don't want that to happen.
No, so you just pop it yourself.
Right. That was the last time I made beer. I didn't make it after that. I said, I don't know.
So you've Sorry. You've never been successful at this.
No, I made beer both times.
Wait.
There was still left over. Like after the thing popped, I put the lid back. It was, there was still stuff. It didn't all come out. It was like half maybe.
What?
So one of the beers.
Did you feel like you were drowning when it was happening? Like
no,
just
I was
spraying in
drenched. It was kind of sticky-ish. It was all over the coat closet, all over the floor, all over the walls.
For the second time.
Yeah, it was everywhere.
Oh my
The
God.
first time wasn't as bad because the first time there was coats.
Yeah.
And what happened was when the beer shot up, it really drenched like 4 or 5 coats really bad, but then it hit the floor. This one was all over the place. This one was like a murder scene from or like like the Exorcist hit or something.
Yeah.
It was bad. Yeah.
Oh my God, that is so funny. I'm sorry that happened to you. That sounds traumatic.
Yeah. So you learn from your mistakes.
Right. Well, sometimes. Or you just give up.
Fool me once. Shame on me.
I don't think you learn from your mistakes. You just gave up.
I said, I'm not doing this anymore unless I get a refrigerator that will keep this cool enough to stop that I don't have to worry about the yeast.
What possessed you to do that anyway? You don't even drink beer.
Because I wanted to make a beer that tasted like root beer. I do not like beer. I'm not a beer drinker. Okay?
Oh my God.
Nothing wrong with anyone who likes beer.
Yeah.
I just don't like beer.
You're like, not for
I
me.
tried. I've tried so many different beers. Just can't find one I like.
And every time you sip it, you're like, God,
Not-
I wish
not
this
for
was
me.
a root beer.
I said I like root beer. So what if I made an alcoholic root beer?
Yeah.
And this is a while ago. This is
Yeah. People
now
have made that now.
There's now alcoholic root beer, and there's like alcoholic lemonade. There was no
Yeah.
Mike's Hard Lemonade back then.
Right.
Okay. I shouldn't say back then. Okay. I'm not that old. Okay, but I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
So this was a while
You
ago.
had a great idea, and someone probably overheard it, and then they decided to make it.
They're like, they probably saw me walk outside drenched. They said, why are you drenched? I said, try to make root beer. Beer. Root beer. Double beer.
What would you have called it? Dave's Brew.
I don't know what I would have called it, but I would have been rich.
Yeah.
Instead,
Too bad you didn't come up with Dave's Hard Lemonade or whatever.
I know.
Shoot.
Why I should have started with lemonade.
You should have.
But
This
anyway,
would've been a different story.
so it didn't work out.
I'm
Yeah,
really
those are
sorry.
the main two hobbies I can recall back in my
Oh.
my time of
Didn't you also have a lame one?
what's that?
Coin collecting.
Yeah, I did that.
My favorite is when you come over and you'd be like, "Oh my God, Becca, I just found this amazing coin."
That's
online."
not true. You're just making stuff up now. You didn't even know me when I did that.
No, there was a small window.
Oh, there was.
Yes, when you were buying coins online.
because I was buying them
yes,
with the idea that I would buy enough,
yeah,
sell the rest, and then keep like 1 or 2 coins for me, and it would
Yeah.
pay for itself.
yeah.
Didn't work out. Didn't work
And
out.
then you would be like, "I got to send this to the coin guy who would like tell me if my coin was good,
Oh,
and,
right, yeah.
and if my coin needed to be cleaned or whatever." And I was just like,
Then they grade it.
Really?
They grade the coin.
Yeah.
I paid for that
A
for a little
plus,
bit.
B plus, C plus.
Yeah, that's not how it works. But either way, yeah, you're right.
What
That's
is it?
right.
Pass fail?
I guess you did know me at that time.
Yeah, yeah. And every time you bring up the story, I was like, God, I just can't wait to hear another coin story.
I was like, did you see this coin? It's like 1886. Look at this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with coin collecting.
No, I didn't say there was.
I just didn't come out ahead on it. I have a lot of coins right now that I'm happy to sell at a profit if anyone's interested.
David,
Yeah.
you know how we have been watching movies and reviewing them? Well, you picked a movie, and I'm dying to talk to you about it. The movie that you chose, which had a very promising title of Hotel for the Holidays.
Just a disclaimer, real
Sure.
quick. I said to you that I wanted to pick bad movies. Now, I didn't know if this was going to be bad or not, but I wanted to pick bad movies because they're kind of more fun to,
Yeah,
you know,
love to roast them.
like the Darling movie. That's a good movie. It's hard
Yeah.
to kind of roast it. Okay.
Sure.
So I couldn't really do a whole lot,
Yeah.
but
So you found a movie that was on a channel that no one's heard of.
it's on Amazon,
Yeah.
but it's like some sort of free movie through another channel. I don't know how
Yeah.
it works.
Freebies or something. It was weird.
Freebsies or I don't know, but
Yeah.
it was called, what was it called again?
Hotel for the Holiday.
Hotel for the Holidays.
Yes.
So I don't know if this was going to be bad or not, but it had the actor from Aladdin in it, and
And a girl from Riverdale.
and a
Madeline
girl,
something.
Is she from Riverdale?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, and then another actress. So they've got 2 people who have other things that went for
Yeah.
their way.
Decent acting chops.
Okay. Yes. So
Yes.
go ahead.
So this movie is about she owns the hotel, right?
No.
she just
the main
works there.
character is this lady, and she runs the hotel.
Yes.
And there's this
And-
French lady who owns it,
Oh, right, because they would FaceTime and stuff.
but she
Yes.
wants to. She wants to own her own hotel. And then the Aladdin
her
guy
dream of
is
her.
like the cook of the hotel.
Yeah, he's the chef, and he's in love with her.
And he's in love with her.
And
They
they're
have a
best
very
friends.
good relationship.
Yes.
Yes.
And he would make her. First of all, he made her this sandwich that was like grilled cheese,
It was
and they
grilled
were
cheese.
acting like it was the hardest thing to make, and it was like so amazing and special. And I think he put like glitter on it.
No. The glitter came from her.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, but go ahead. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so anyway, she is running this hotel, and then you find, because it is a hotel, there are all these different characters that stay there. Then you meet them. So a prince shows up, a pop star who's kind of going through an identity crisis shows up, a man with a dog who he keeps losing his dog.
Yeah.
The dog's always running away from him.
Right.
Is also in the movie. He seemed to be a predominant character that made no sense.
Right.
But anyway, and then there was a Santa who was constantly outside the hotel
Yes.
ringing this bell.
Right.
And he was the worst Santa ever.
Yes.
And then the girl had a best friend who didn't really work at the hotel, but she was always
she-
there, and she was planning an event.
I thought she did. She was like concierge.
Oh, I didn't think so. I
You
thought
talking
she
about
was just
Kiki,
like,
I think her name was.
Yeah.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
worked there.
oh, I see. I thought she was just like trying to help because she was like, oh, my
Well,
best friend.
she doesn't do a lot.
Yeah, and
But
she was
she-
like
she
planning
gets
that
paid, I think.
singles event.
Yeah.
Single and mingle, or mingle for
Yeah.
singles, or something
Right.
like that. Which, by the way, if you were staying in a hotel and they had like and you were single and they had a single mingle,
Yeah.
would you have attended?
It depends. I'd probably like see Like, what's my prospects? Like,
Sure.
Is this full of like a bunch of 87-year-old women? I
Then
wouldn't
you would have
go.
been there.
I wouldn't go. But if it was like models left and right, I'd be like,
Yeah.
this might be my chance.
To get cast.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay. Yes. So anyway, there's a whole bunch of characters, and the prince, at first, I was thinking that he was going to fall in love with this main girl who runs the hotel.
Right.
And they kind of had that storyline going on. And then the chef was upset because he was in love with her, but he
Right.
wouldn't just say it because he was afraid of rejection, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. But the thing that was hard about this movie is the premise of it was beautiful. Loved it. I was like, oh, this is going to be a great movie. It was the execution that was rough. There was even one part, I don't know if you remember or not, but the prince who stays there, who gave up his throne, by the way.
Right.
So he didn't want to be called
That's right.
Prince Andrew or something like that.
The prince gave up his throne because he did not like being royalty anymore.
Right.
So he gave up his throne and came to the United States.
Yes.
And came to this hotel. And I'm not sure exactly.
And brought one bodyguard with him.
One bodyguard. Yeah.
Yeah. Who was not good
Probably
at his
the
job.
best. Probably the best actor in the film.
All he did was like he just looked side to side and put his arm out sometimes. But the worst part of the movie, well, one of them, is the prince goes outside and all these people are there because somehow they know he's there and they're taking pictures of all these paparazzi. So she sneaks him back inside and she's like, oh, I don't know why I didn't think of this other exit. So they're going down this long spiral staircase.
Right.
And she said, I don't know why I didn't think about this. This is how we do deliveries. And I was thinking, what the hell? Who's going up a spiral staircase
Yeah.
for deliveries?
Right, yeah.
Who wrote that
That's a
line?
good- I didn't even think of that.
I was just like, if I was a delivery person and they said, bring that to the top of that spiral staircase, I would have quit.
Wow.
Who wrote that?
I don't know who wrote that. I don't remember that scene. Like I remember them going down the spiral staircase. I just don't remember her saying that's how they get deliveries. But
Yeah.
if that's, I mean, that's ridiculous. I don't
Yeah.
know how you would even.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it.
Mhm.
But the part that was so sad about that whole scene
Yeah.
too was the bodyguard. Like we said, the bodyguard was so bad. And I'm sorry if you're really trying to be an actor. I'm really sorry.
If you're listening.
The man took his role. It was almost like someone went up to him and said, "You're a bodyguard and you need to protect the prince. Run with it." And he just put in his own little things. Like every time he would walk outside, he'd always look left and right and all around.
Yeah.
And he'd always put his arms out, like as if someone's running towards the prince.
Right.
Like trying to protect the prince at every waking moment.
And no one was around.
Yeah, it was really
He looked like he was trying to land a plane, like he was trying to direct.
yes, exactly. It was the worst bodyguard I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they were trying to make a real movie. I do. I really do. But
I think they had good intentions. But the execution of the whole thing was just painful.
yeah. Oh, painful is just, yeah.
One
Giving
of the other parts too is towards the end when the pop star who is just going through this identity crisis and takes off her wig and then decides that she wants to be a normal person. It was a real Hannah Montana moment where it's like no one recognized her without the pink hair.
Oh, right. Right. And no one did.
Yeah, it was
It
very
worked
bizarre.
perfectly in the movie.
I don't know who that is. Anyway, so she's playing piano towards the end and the prince comes over and he's like, hello, and says her name. And she's like, how did you know it was me? And he was like, you're so big in my country.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And then he was like, I don't know why I made him have that accent because I think he was British.
You probably
Anyway.
did it better than what he was supposed to do.
Anyway, but then he was like, your song,
Yes.
get off my throne or leave my throne.
Yeah, get off my throne or something.
Yeah, he's like,
is the reason why I gave up my throne. Who wrote this? And also, whoever wrote it, that's bad, but who approved it? Who approved this movie?
and then she followed up with acoustic or the dance remix.
Also,
And he was like,
why did
"Dance
Aladdin
remix."
from the Aladdin actor go with this movie? Or the girl from Riverdale? Like when you're reading this and you read that part of the script, were you just like, this is the one? This is the one. This is Oscar written all over it. All right, let me point out some other things.
Oh, yes.
right,
You have your
this-
phone out. I'm so excited.
Yes, I have some notes, just
Yes,
like I
please.
did on that other Christmas movie.
Falling for
The
Christmas.
Santa, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
At the very beginning, he's got a thing for Kiki, kind of, I guess. But he's the most creepy Santa in the world. Okay, he said, "Ho ho ho! How about a donation?" to the Kiki chick.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what that was about, but that was dirty as hell.
Yeah.
Like when he was saying that to her, you got to see this movie. It's worth it just because it's terrible.
Dave rates it an 8.
The poster glitter. Okay, so like that's where she gets the so she's got this poster and it's full of glitter and she's wiping off the poster glitter.
Yeah.
And the when she gets done wiping off the glitter, there's still glitter all over the place.
Yeah.
Then she walks away, and then there's a shot of the poster in the background, and it doesn't have any glitter on it anymore. It magically disappears.
Oh,
and then
right.
she touches the grilled cheese sandwich, and that's how she gets glitter on it. But he points that out, luckily, because he was like about to take a bite and goes, "Oh, it's covered in glitter."
Right.
So, but anyway, and like I said, the bodyguard, just unbelievable.
Even that sandwich part, though, for just a second, he like delivers it, has her sit down. It's under one of those silver things, so he, lifts it up, and the sandwich is there. And she's like, "Oh my god, thank you so much. You don't have to make me lunch." And then something comes up, and she has to run away. Well, take the damn sandwich with you. Eat it on the way. But she gives it back to him, like, "Oh, can't eat that."
Right.
Why?
I don't know. It's just a weird scene. Like I said, I think I'm just surprised that these actors went along with this movie. Speaking of which, if you Google or if you look up the Aladdin guy and you look up what movies he's in, it doesn't show up. I don't know if he asked them.
Strike that from the record.
Yeah, I don't know if he asked them to take that off or if maybe they haven't updated yet, but he might be asking not to put that on his list of movies. The whole movie kept having this guy, like you mentioned, with this dog he kept losing. But his character served zero purpose in the movie.
Yeah.
He just lost his dog. He would randomly show up randomly in different scenes saying, "Has anyone seen my dog?"
Yeah.
And then finally the dog gets found by this other guy and there's a connection between both guys. But the movie has nothing to do with them.
Yeah, he is no connection to any other character.
Yeah, I don't understand the point of his character. There was no reason. The pop star for like 90% of the movie had no point. Except for like maybe a little bit of comedic relief, but like towards the end, she actually did like something, I guess.
Yeah, she helped, and I feel like her and the prince were going to fall in love.
Right, her and the prince would fall in love, I guess. But like she also like was with Kiki a lot, who's one of the main characters.
Yeah.
And they went and she was teaching her what Christmas is about. So I guess that
Right.
kind of had a little bit of a role in the movie.
Yeah.
But like really her character didn't have much of a role either.
No.
It was more for comedic relief. The guy with the dog wasn't even comedic relief. Like he was just a guy looking for his dog the whole movie.
No, and the whole scene with him and the Santa when he came up and he's like, "Have you seen my dog? He's like small and brown and blah blah blah." And then the Santa's like, "Give me a donation first." So he gives him one. He's like,
right.
"Yeah, I haven't seen him.
Yeah. Yeah. The Santa the whole time is just he's terrible.
a waste of space."
And Kiki hates him throughout the whole movie until his Santa beard falls off, and then all of a sudden she's
then she's
magically in love with him.
Yeah,
Ignore all the other things he said
it's
about
love
her.
at first sight, David. It's love at first sight.
The manager in the film, the main character, she's supposed to run the hotel.
Yeah.
She didn't run the hotel at all throughout the whole movie. If you take one thing from this movie,
She truly did.
she doesn't do her job.
No. You know what else was stupid? Oh my god, I forgot about this. But the workers that were like having a secret relationship, which by the way, like who cares?
Oh yeah.
Like she was a cleaner or whatever,
And he was a cook.
Yeah. And it was like literally who cares if you guys are in
Right.
a relationship. Anyway, she, on those like not basket, but those cart things that they have. She had his gift hanging on the side of it in this nice bag. And then the Aladdin guy was like, he kind of made a mention about, oh, maybe you want to hide that because the one guy's coming or whatever. But he's pretending he doesn't know they're in a relationship.
Right.
She's like, oh, thank you. Who buys the gift and then goes and walks it around with them all day on the cart?
Yeah.
I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to buy it or whatever, well, keep it in your locker or
Right.
something.
No,
Like if you
yeah.
picked it up on your way to work.
Yeah, I don't.
Why was it there?
I don't know. And that's the thing with this movie. There's so many of those moments where you're just like, what is going on? Like,
Yeah.
did someone seriously like put this together and think this was?
And then the old people, their like little love thing, because the guy finds a scarf
Oh,
and he
God.
thinks that it's from the other lady.
And she's like 90 years old and he's maybe 60. And he's happy about like that she's the one who got the scarf. He's like,
Oh my God, I have a secret admirer.
I know. And he puts the scarf on and later
And then he
finds out-
like looks at her and he like gives her a thumbs up and she's like, okay.
she just gives him a thumbs up, and
Yeah.
that was the most weird. It wasn't. It was just
Their kissing was weird too.
Oh God, I'm gonna be honest with you. I can take any kind of kissing except old people kissing. Okay, don't.
Actually,
That needs to
I
be
agree with you.
censored more than anything else. Okay, you could give me this crazy whacked out movie with all this disgust. It could be raunchy.
Yeah.
Nudity left and right.
okay.
Whatever. You don't need to censor any of it. There could be just terribleness going on in that movie. But you throw two 90-year-old people and you make them kiss.
Mooching on
I
each
don't
other.
want to see it. I'm
You're
sorry.
Like, barf in a bag.
I don't want to see it. And I promise to you all, if I ever hit 90, I will not kiss anyone in front of you.
Thank God.
But it was. So yeah, the die of the dog served no purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Manager the whole time didn't do her job.
Yeah.
Literally did nothing for them. In the very beginning, she did a little bit of work, and then
Yeah.
the whole rest of the movie was her finding another hotel and a
Yeah,
new
to
job.
go work at. Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
And then everyone's just pissed at her.
There was everyone was becoming a manager. Like everyone was a manager in that movie, but her.
Mm-hmm.
I've got maybe I don't know if this will spark something. I've got a note in here that said there's banging on glass, but no one helps her. Oh yeah.
Oh my God,
she's
I forgot about that.
She's trapped in the hotel.
Yeah.
The new hotel that she was going to get.
Right.
And she can't get out because I guess she gets locked in.
Yeah.
And she's banging on glass.
And people see her.
And people are seeing her. She's yelling help.
Yeah, which you can clearly tell.
And they just smile and wave at her.
Yeah. And
as
then
they
leave.
walk by. Like,
yeah.
And one of them, I think if it said Merry Christmas, maybe. I'm not sure. But seriously,
What a cute decoration.
the whole time they're just smiling. No one's
Yeah.
saying there's a poor lady stuck in here. What if she's
Right.
being attacked by a serial killer?
Yeah.
And she's going to die. And she's like, help, help, help.
They're
and no
like,
one's like,
Not my problem.
No call for police, nothing.
Yeah, that was such a weird
It doesn't make sense.
scene. Like, what? I don't understand the artistic choice on that one. It would have been different if, like, you couldn't see her and you were just hearing somebody bang on the wall. But yeah, they could see her.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the French lady, which I'm not even sure she really is French because I thought it was a terrible accent, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she really is French.
There's no way she could be
But
French.
she was terrible,
Yeah.
like so bad. And the background, you could tell was like this fake background
Right.
of a ocean
It
scene.
looked like on a Teams call when you just change your background.
And at the end, she decides she's not going to work with the prince,
Mm-hmm.
but the French woman shows up, and she just decides, "I'm going to give you 49% of my hotel." Happy ending. Because
And you can go be in love with the cook.
she goes to the woman and says, "I want to do a new hotel. Will you give me 50%?" Basically, like we'll be part.
Yeah, sharesies.
And I'll run it, and you just sit back and relax.
Yeah.
And the woman said, "Only if you can come up with the money." But then at the end of it, she's just suddenly changes her mind and decides to give her 49% of the current hotel that she's in.
Yeah.
Which that just happens every day. Like, I'm just going to give you.
My life's work.
Here you go.
Here's half of it.
Yeah, this is a hotel in New York City, probably worth 50 million, maybe more, $100 million. I'm going to give you 49%.
Yeah.
Thanks for being such a great manager. If only she saw she wasn't around for the entire movie. They're giving out like new positions, so they give the one guy. I think he became the manager, right? Because the
you're
manager
right.
lady became like an owner now, or whatever,
Right.
executive or whatever. And they go to Kiki, and they give her a new position. And that she says to the manager, I think like you're going to get a pay increase or something like that. I can't remember the words, but they go to Kiki. Kiki's new position is she's going to be the events coordinator. And all I could think of was after she said that, she should have said, "And there's a pay decrease." There's a pay decrease because Kiki was the worst employee out of all of them. She was terrible. But they gave her a new job called events coordinator.
Yeah.
They should have said with a pay decrease. But anyway, and then the Milton was way younger than that woman, like I mentioned.
Yeah.
But
That
yeah,
whole thing
I
was
think that's
so
about
weird.
it. But like the movie was honestly one of the worst. I think this is the worst Christmas movie I've ever seen. This is the worst.
It's still not the worst that I've ever seen, but it was bad. It was painful in parts.
The whole script.
The whole script. What truly got me was the prince and the song when he was like, "I was inspired to leave my throne because of your song."
Oh, yeah.
Get off the
That
throne.
was like the cherry on top of a terrible script.
As if I was the actor, I would have had a really hard time saying that line.
Yeah.
And I feel like I would have been like, do we really need this?
Yeah, right.
You know?
Like, I think what's funny is I think that the movie was supposed to be a little humor in there,
Yeah.
but it was so poorly, like, acted as well as written that it didn't even come across as funny. It came across as just a terrible script.
And it was just kind of
you know?
like, why is he even there at the hotel? He just gave up his throne. He's just trying to travel.
I guess.
Do you think
I
that
don't
was
know.
like supposed to be a nod to like Harry for leaving?
Maybe it was.
It just felt like a 12-year-old wrote this.
It was honestly just a bad movie.
Yeah.
And I know why now it was on that Freezies or whatever. And honestly, I feel bad for those two actors, especially the Aladdin guy, because he was actually in a movie, like an actual real movie.
Yeah.
And I know she's a TV show actress at the moment. Maybe she'll be in movies, or maybe she was. But like, you know, movie careers are one of those things, like, you can lose them just as quickly as you can get them.
Yeah.
If you just do one bad role, all of a sudden people just like, let's not
They
use
just
him.
associate you with that.
And I don't know if he's just having trouble getting roles and he just settled.
Yeah.
Or if he really thought this was the one. This is going to get them looking
this
at
is
me
going to
again.
put me back on the map.
I mean, I know there's going to be like an Aladdin 2,
Oh, is there?
I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, good for that
And
guy.
I think he's in it. Maybe not after this, if Disney gets a hold of it.
We've got to recast him. Well, I've already picked out our next movie because you picked this one. So I'm going to let everyone know what it is. And for those listening, watch the movie. So then when you hear our review, you can see who you agree
You
with.
can associate it with it. Yeah.
Yeah. The movie's going to be, it's an Amazon movie and it's called Something from Tiffany's. And I am beyond excited
Something
to watch this.
from Tiffany's.
Yes.
Great. I can already tell this is going to be great.
Well, you've been listening to You're Making This Difficult. I'm back.
I'm Dave.
Tune in next week.